The Vegas Golden Knights and Edmonton Oilers are all even at one game apiece. Chris Gawlik of Locked On VGK joins us to talk about how we got here and what it'll take for Vegas to emerge victorious in what should be a hard-fought series.
You're Locked On NHL, your daily podcast on the National Hockey League. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And welcome, everybody, to the Monday edition of the Locked On NHL Podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Want to thank everyone for making Locked On NHL your first listen every day. Don't forget to subscribe, both on YouTube and or your podcatcher of choice, to get new episodes as soon as they drop. It is my pleasure to welcome back to the show the co-host of Locked On VGK, Chris Gawlik. And Chris, this is going to be, I think, a very hard-fought, long series.
Yeah, I mean, in the beginning, I felt this thing was going to go 7 games. I kind of felt it would be like a VGK takes game 1, Edmonton takes 2 and 3, VGK comes back for 4, Edmonton takes 5, and then VGK goes 6 and 7 and advances. So I'm 2 for 2 so far. I hope we can continue that. And either way, this thing's definitely going 6 or 7, and we got a little spice now. Added to the mix.
Yeah, no question. And what would you say is sort of the biggest cause for that spice?
I mean, Evander Kane, probably. We'll start there. Yesterday, Evander Kane did what Evander Kane does, and that's annoy and pester. And, you know, he got Kolesar in a very compromised position and started wailing away. And, you know, people in Vegas are very upset about basically Kolesar on his back, the ref sitting there just kind of taking notes and watching it happen. But I actually dug this up. This is via someone else. But basically, Keegan Kolesar was guilty of doing the same thing against the St. Louis Blues, punching a defenseless player on the ground during an altercation. So, you know, this stuff is very unfortunate when it happens. It looks bad, but, you know, this is hockey. It's gruesome. And I'm definitely on an island, but I have no problem with Evander Kane's actions Saturday at T-Mobile Arena.
Is there an intention, do you think, by VGK to respond at the right time, or is this not going to be something that gets under their skin too much?
You said at the right time. Me and Tony recorded Locked On VGK a little actually before you and I are doing this hit right now. And Bruce Cassidy said the Vegas Golden Knights were out-teammated in the game. A new word, out-teammated, apparently. But he's alluding to the fact that Kolesar has had the Vegas Golden Knights back all season long. Kolesar's not a fighter. He'll be the first one to tell you he's not a fighter, but he will defend every player on his team and do whatever he can to help. Now, you asked what the response might be and when it might happen. Evander Kane is rent-free, living rent-free in the heads of the Vegas Golden Knights. The fans, the coaches, the peanut sellers, the beer vendors, everyone inside Vegas and T-Mobile Arena has a hatred for Evander Kane right now. You cannot let that change how Game 3 is approached on Monday evening. If they being the Golden Knights, are going to be headhunting Evander Kane all night, that's not the way you're going to beat the high-powered, amazingly talented offense and power play of the Edmonton Oilers. Save it for game 37 in the 23-24 season. Call someone from the AHL, go get a goon, do it then. We got to focus on winning game 3 right now.
You mentioned the explosive offense and obviously the power play of the Edmonton Oilers. How, if you are the Vegas Golden Knights, do you try to slow down? Because I don't know if you could really stop, but how do you slow down that power play? You know, you're talking about McDavid, you're talking about Draisaitl. What is that? 2 of the top 3 scorers in the league this year for points. How do you slow those guys down?
Probably 2 of the top 3 players in the world as well, if we want to keep on going here.
Yeah.
So you got to keep them off. You got to stay out of the box. So early on, and I think we might have talked about this before the series, I mentioned that everyone's saying Vegas has to stay out of the box, stay out of the box, stay out of the box. And my comeback to that was, you got to play hockey. You have to play your game, and you have to be ready for the penalty kill and to kill that high-powered Edmonton power play. Well, that's not going to happen. There's actually a fun call in the postgame show yesterday. I forgot the gentleman's name. He calls in every single show. And there was a positive as far as the Vegas Golden Knights wins with the Edmonton power play. Edmonton came into yesterday's game in the postseason at like a 59 or a 58% conversion rates. Edmonton was 3 for 6 yesterday. The Vegas Golden Knights actually lowered the Edmonton Oilers power play percentage yesterday by only giving up 3 goals. So there you go. It's a good game. Successful game yesterday. We slowed down the power play finally.
Yeah, but
you're not slowing the power play down. That long story longer, you're not slowing it down. Stay out of the box. Maybe you get lucky and your goalie makes a save. Maybe. It's just so good. They're so poised. They're so relaxed out there. There is no panic at all. And if Vegas is fortunate, or anyone for that matter, gets it clear, they just come right back down, set up, and do it again. Even if they don't score a goal, they wear you out. So I said the Kentucky Derby. Here you go. Kentucky Derby, the most exciting 2 minutes in sports. The Edmonton Oilers power play is the longest 2 minutes in sports for the opposing teams.
No doubt about it. Wanted to bring up 2 players who maybe aren't making a lot of headlines, but I think are kind of quietly, to one degree or another, contributing to the success of VGK. One is Brett Howden, who leads the team with a +7, and the other is Alec Martinez. Talk to me about those 2 guys.
Martinez, first of all, doing a good job. And he's been down this road many times, of course, with the LA Kings, and he's had some runs, obviously, with the Vegas Golden Knights. So this isn't the Martinez of 2015 by any means, but you know, as he gets older, he gets smarter, and he's using that to get in the right spot, to block pucks, to continue to play the game with poise and things like that. He is getting beat every now and then, but, you know, he's still doing a very serviceable job. He's out there with Pietrangelo on the first defensive unit, so you got a lot of experience and a few Stanley Cups, so he's doing just fine. And, you know, Brett Howden under the radar, it doesn't get much more under the radar than Brett Howden, but he's doing all the little things right. Stood up for his teammates yesterday by dropping the gloves, and he's scoring some goals and just helping. The biggest thing about this series, one of the many things, was the play of the bottom 6, the Oilers' bottom 6 against the Vegas Golden Knights' bottom 6. Well, the Vegas Golden Knights' bottom 6 is probably winning so far, but the problem is the top 6 for Edmonton is just so good. Oh, my goodness.
They are. Talk to me about the goaltending. It's obviously critical in the playoffs. Are you pleased with where you're at this point in the series?
To a degree, sure. I mean, Brossoit did not have, Laurent Brossoit for the Vegas Golden Knights, that is, did not have a great game. No one had a good game, too, to be completely transparent. But there was at least 2 goals where, you know, the goalie wants that one back, or the coach will say, you wish we had one more save there. And the second McDavid goal fits that mold perfectly. McDavid's alone. You know, he's going to find a hole because he's McDavid, but anytime you get beat clean, the goalie is going to wish they could have done a little something different. And then this was a result of a Shea Theodore turnover and a remarkable Connor McDavid play. But I think Connor McDavid's breakaway, not kind of a semi-breakaway goal on the PK, for them on the PK, so it was a shorthanded goal for the Edmonton Oilers. It didn't look like his best effort once he got to the net, and Brossoit just simply was not ready for it, unfortunately. Me and Tony think there could be a goaltending change tomorrow night. I would not be against Monday night, that is. I would not be against putting Adin Hill out there. Listen, the swing games are so hard in any series. I know the road teams have had weird records this year, but the swing games are always so hard. VGK is going to be up against a wall tomorrow night as it is. So I would like to see him run out Adin Hill and see if we can get the team some energy. I don't want to be down 2-1 and make that change where you're going to put all that heat on them. So do it in game 3 when there's a little less pressure. I mean, Vegas is supposed to lose tomorrow, right? It's a swing game. They're on the road. The big Edmonton arena, that amazing crowd, you know, we should lose tomorrow. So maybe Adin Hill can go and steal one for us.
All right, Chris, why don't you tell our listeners and our viewers where they could find the podcast and where they could find you guys on social media?
Yep, Locked On Vegas Golden Knights, anywhere you find your podcast. Locked On VGK, Locked On Vegas Golden Knights on YouTube as well. We're still pushing for subscribers right now, although the show's been going crazy since the playoffs started. So if you found us courtesy of the Locked On NHL podcast, definitely thank you guys. And come check out, see what me and Tony are up to. You can find me at TD Chris G. That's like a touchdown, at TD Chris G on Twitter.
All right, Chris, thanks so much. Always a pleasure.
Thank you, sir.
Today's episode is brought to you by Indeed. There's no I in team, but there is one in Indeed, and that's the hiring platform you need to build yours. When you're hiring, you need Indeed. Indeed is the hiring platform where you can attract, interview, and hire all in one place. Instead of spending hours on multiple job sites searching for candidates with the right skills, Indeed is a powerful hiring platform that can help you do it all. We streamline hiring with powerful tools that help you find matched candidates. And with Instant Match, over 80% of employers get quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed matches their job description the moment they sponsor a job, according to Indeed Data US. Start hiring now with a $75 sponsored job credit to upgrade your job post at Indeed.com/lockedon. Offer good for a limited time. Claim your $75 credit at Indeed.com/lockedon. Indeed.com/lockedon. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed.